sure. Well, a car company that really began in 1937, so we have many years, over 70 years, almost 80 years now in the Syracuse market. So, it's always important to us that we're local, we've been local, and to be a part of our community, important part of our community, and giving back to our community. So, our brand is really, it's our people, our history of employees and satisfied customers. We want to tell that story as much as we can.
How has Galaxy helped you tell that story of your brand?
Well, Galaxy is the last man standing when it comes to local media. I've been in the car business for 34 years. I've been buying media for probably over 25 years of that. And, it's been a very different market. Years ago, everybody was locally owned, operated. They were all here. Everybody had remotes, and everybody was involved in community, events in our dealership, events, radio and TV events. It's pretty much gone. The last Galaxy is the last man standing, if you will, that really is locally owned and operated and involved in local business.
Chip.
Yeah. Well, it involves a relationship. Really, when you're going to do a special event together, you may involve in an event. It involves conversation and them knowing about your business and you knowing about theirs, and again, being, I guess, together in business for so long, buying media from them and then providing events. It is a relationship that involves people, and conversation. Because they're local and because the senior management is right here in Syracuse and they're involved, they can make decisions. They come up with original ideas, original thoughts. If we have something we want to do, we can discuss it and they can implement. A lot of the media outlets today have offices other places. Creative is done. Their themes are set, and they're just. So having decision makers at Galaxy here in Syracuse, part of our community, you can do whatever you can think of, or they can think of, they can implement. That's it. You do have a lot of flexibility in what you do, and there's definitely access. If you can get a yes or a no, or maybe, or adapt something, pretty much in the same day, and it's easy. Well, the added value, like I said, the added value is certainly that Galaxy executives are here and decision makers are in Syracuse. But what they really are good at is special events. I mean, Taste of Syracuse, Rockathon. I mean, these guys they can put together people at a location. And we've had several events at our location. We had the choirs. Big Mike put on choirs at Drivers Village at Christmas, brought them right into our organization and put that together. And they're just really good at not only accumulating audience on air, but accumulating people wherever they decide they want to put them. And they've proven that over and over again with the events they've done. Yeah, the experience is great. They're concerned about our business, and certainly we're not the only car dealer that does business here, but they're concerned about business in general and want to see a healthy business, and they want to know what's happening. And again, it's the people. They really have a concern for our business and the success of our business, and really try to adapt themselves to us and give us a special relationship to set us apart from other dealers in the area. So they go out of their way, and it comes down to the people that are here. The great staff at Galaxy, experienced. The turnover is not media turnover has been horrendous in the last few years, and it's nice to get some familiar faces here that are still here, and the ownership is still here, so that makes it easier to do business on an ongoing basis. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know what year it was when I first started selling media. Ed had investors, and actually we were one of the bigger accounts and brought one of the investors out to meet us, I guess, to make sure they were really doing business here, had real customers, and the guy was an investor. And then to be part of that and to watch him, he'd call me, bring this guy out there, want to talk to our customers, and then to end up buying out the company, which is unusual. First of all, it's unusual to have a man this size city own it, and then to buy it out and not be part of a conglomerate of all that. And it was funny to watch him in those days, kind of nervous and feeling his way through it as whatever partnership he had, and then shedding the partnership and buying it. It was interesting. It was fun to watch, to see that. I love business. I love Syracuse business. We have a lot invested here, and to see somebody do that is kind of neat. And watch him go from having partners to owning this owning Galaxy was kind of a nice thing to watch. And again, the professionalism and the staff and what they do, and, when you try to work with other companies, many times the rep is all about it. They want to do something special for you. They have an idea, and they can't implement, and something happens, and if there's a problem, buildings in Atlanta and trafficking's here and production's there, and their format's done by somebody else. So they pretty much, even though there's some great reps out there, and we have some great media partners and other media, a lot of them are handcuffed because the way the businesses are structured. Yeah, so the relationship with Galaxy has been, we sit down 1 or 2 times a year. I don't sit every month, and they don't call on me for every week. We try to build some long-term relationships. I've bought annually before. We're buying semi-annual now, depending on our needs. And we sit down and have a conversation about all aspects, events, media, all the stations. Talk about, Syracuse University sports. We'll talk about whatever is going on, events at our location, events there, and we have a conversation, the internet, their websites. So we get it all done, and probably in a couple sit-downs a year. So it's not a normal sales call. It's not about, there's some negotiating back and forth. We certainly want to get, we're one of the largest advertisers in the market. Probably number 1 in automotive, if not number 2, I think, in our spend, our electronic spend. And so you want to be treated special. You want to make sure that you're getting the best deal. But that's not the conversation. We make sure we have that, but then we go on to discuss all aspects. And again, we do it just a couple times a year. It doesn't take a lot of time, and it's not stressful like some of the media buys can be. Yeah, they really do. Media has changed so drastically, especially in the last 10 years. In the last 5, it's hard to keep up with, and they're always interested. The Galaxy guys are always interested in what we're doing, what our goals are, our objectives, and try to taper their proposals to what our objectives are. And they do that. A lot of professionalism. They're not just buying media. They're trying to help us sell cars, and they're disappointed if things don't go well. If they didn't participate in a great month, they really are genuinely disappointed. They want to help us to achieve our goals. Yeah, it's an interesting question. Success in media, is difficult to measure. That's why a lot of us have moved towards electronic, have moved towards web. Web. So we've tried to measure radio versus TV versus internet, and we've come off certain stations and on others and tried it by process of elimination more than anything, determine. And the testing we've done, Galaxy's come out on top. Radio, as much as, internet's out there, we have all kinds of media, Facebook and YouTube and plenty of places to spend our money. We try to get rid of somebody because you got to spend money in new places. So you try to dump somebody, and it's been difficult to dump radio because it still draws people. And you can still see the impact on it. As much as statistics say, and many companies are getting out of radio and television and broadcast media in general. And then when you look at radio and you look at the attributes of Galaxy, if you're going to stay in radio, you have to buy these stations. Some of the national people don't know about it because it's a local buy, and some people buy the chains. The large buyers, the McDonald's and Coca-Colas of the world, are buying from New York City or LA, wherever they buy from. They don't realize the power of a local radio station. They just don't see it. It's not in the books and the stats always. So, we have proven that they've been successful. I wish I had measurement on everything. People know the old saying is, half our media doesn't work. We just don't know which half, and we feel that way all the time. But we're just constantly trying to measure, evolve, and get better at it. But Galaxy's been part of our success.
Job.
Oh yeah, the favorite part of my job and the hardest part of my job is change. It's just I was getting older, and you'd like to think that at this time in my life, after 2 careers, I was 20 years in the food business and now 30 years in the car business. You think that I'd be able to kind of take it easy, and kind of rest. And there's no rest, in any industry now. And it just seems like the evolution in car sales is almost a revolution because of media technology. So it's the exciting part, which is trying to evolve our people and staff and technology. But it's also the frustrating part because you're wondering, are we good enough, quick enough, how fast do you move? We have a lot of conventional buyers that don't change. So we sell cars, I've got cars from $4,000 or $5,000 to, $250,000. We sell every level of car in Syracuse, new, used, trucks. So we pretty much are in the whole car business. So we have people that buy differently. And there's been an evolution in media, evolution in communications and technology. And to some people, that's a revolution how they buy a car. Other people, they don't care. It doesn't apply. They want to buy a car just like they always did. And so that makes it really, really frustrating, And but it's also the fun part. It keeps me going. Keeps us challenged to do that, and then bring our people along. We're a high intensity, high touch business between service and sales. We have 550 employees, and probably more than half of those people talk to customers every day, have direct contact with customers, and we got to be good at it, and we got to keep evolving and being cutting edge. And so that's the good part and the bad part of my job.